Tech giant Intel reporting fourth quarter earnings after the bell today. Analysts are expecting 66 cents per share on sales of $14.7 billion. That's according to estimates on Thomson Reuters. So joining us now to preview those results is Brian Blair. He's managing director of Rosenblatt Securities. Brian, thanks for joining us today.
You bet.
What are your expectations for the chip maker when it reports after the bell? Do you think we're going to blow past these estimates?
I don't. I think it's going to be largely in line. There's probably a little bit of room for upside, but it would be very slight. The PC industry was down 2% overall last year, with a little bit of a bump in the fourth quarter. It's widely viewed that PC units overall were up about 1% in the quarter. So there's probably a little bit of room there. If there is any upside, it's going to come from the market share gains they've seen from Intel. From AMD rather, but that's mostly been at the low end of the market. So very important for Intel, but not as much of a needle mover, as I think some would like to see. So I think we're going to see earnings largely in line.
And what is your take on the holiday season? How do you think Intel fared? I mean, technology, at least from early readings, big area for consumers this season.
Definitely big for consumer electronics overall, but a lot of that was seen on the smartphone side, where Intel really doesn't play. They really don't have a stronghold. They don't power the Samsung devices or the Apple iPhone, which was really where a lot of the volume was seen. But I do think that overall notebooks were okay. I mentioned earlier, 1% growth is very strong for notebooks. A lot of people expected that segment to really just disintegrate or fall apart in calendar 2014, and it didn't. It remained very stable relative to expectations. But I do think that the holiday season was decent for notebooks. There were a lot of notebooks that were sold, in the under $300 price range, and that certainly helped contribute and will help contribute to Intel's December quarter.
And what do you think are the biggest headwinds or biggest risks for Intel? I mean, we talk about the stronger dollar over the past year and the tech companies that have a lot of exposure to that. Is that a headwind? Are there others?
I think, that's a little bit of a headwind, of course. Currency is always something that's a concern to a company that is as global as Intel is. But I think the bigger concern is really how are consumers and the enterprise, how are they using computing products in 2015? We've certainly seen a big shift to tablets in the enterprise and with consumers, and that has taken up a lot of the historic business that was notebooks. So I think one of the questions is what will that trend look like this year? One thing we're seeing in the enterprise, or starting to see signs of, is 12-inch tablets. Tablets that do look more like the notebooks of old, but are a little more portable with more updated operating systems. Intel does not power most of those. They power some of the Microsoft branded ones, which really have seen small volume. So I think the question is, in 2015 for Intel, is do more consumers and enterprise workers opt for these low-cost notebooks, some of which are fantastic, or do they move more towards the tablet side? And that'll be one of the big questions that they'll need to answer this year. We'll see the trends unfold, but I imagine we're going to get some commentary about it on the call tonight.
And just to pivot away from that for a minute, Intel showcased a few very interesting items at the Consumer Electronics Show last year. We had RealSense technology, 3D camera, Quark, which is the tiny chip that it's using for wearables. What are your outlook on these technologies?
I'm interested in wearables as a sector. It's obviously one where there's a lot of hope, a lot of development, and a lot of hype. But we really haven't seen anything yet of any meaningful volume, especially that's not powered by Intel. Most of the wearables that we are seeing are powered by ARM-based processors. And I think that it's an area that Intel, obviously through Quark, is interested in. But with the products we've seen so far that are showing decent volume, they've been ARM-based. So I like seeing their interest there because I think there is hope. We're going to see the Apple Watch here in the next couple of months, and we'll see if there really is a market for wearables this year. But I think that's really something that's a big question mark. We don't know yet what that market's going to look like. On the 3D stuff, RealSense, they showed some new applications for it. So I think it's one thing to have a technology, something that's possible, but we've got to find some real world applications before I think we can get excited about it.
Well, Brian Blair, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. I'm Morgan Brennan. Have a great day.